Order. Salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A roll call of members.
Mayor Moore.
Here.
Trustee Champlain. Here. Trustee Martin.
Here.
Trustee Trombley. Tom Trombley is excused tonight. Trustee Garrett.
Here.
Okay, at this time I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes previous meeting, the one held November 10th, 2008, the regular meeting.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
Are there any additions or corrections? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes are approved. Minutes of November 20th, 2008 special meeting. I entertain a motion to approve those minutes as read.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes are approved for the November 20th meeting. Now have a report from Mike Tatro, Codes Enforcement.
The building is down.
Part of it.
Part of it. We boarded up the rest of it there, so hopefully that's the end of that dilemma. Other than that, been fairly quiet.
Is he gonna fix that part of the roof that now is kind of open and exposed?
I haven't talked to him. I haven't seen him since before Thanksgiving, so I don't know if he doesn't fix it. I would think it's just gonna rot
Right,
the
it's just
inside
gonna
out.
do-
He may not do it this fall, but until there's a hole in the roof or it, becomes an unsafe building again, there's really not much I can do with it.
See the amount of mold that was on the wall?
I think that's probably dust and whatnot. You talking about where the two buildings were connected together?
Yeah, huge.
Yeah.
Gross.
So,
Is anyone in the old building on the corner of Church and Main? Because there are no longer padlocks on those doors, they're just open. Old Main Knitting? No, that's not Old Main Knitting.
Titanium arrow.
The old
the
town.
old fire
town.
station, the old village offices?
Yeah, the old,
That's owned by Canadian.
Yeah, titanium era there. No, there's nobody in there, but I've checked that a couple of times and all those doors were locked, so
okay, they used to have padlocks on them, and I see the padlocks aren't on.
well,
so-
they must be locked from the inside, because I went around and I tried all the doors.
Oh, good,
And I
okay.
couldn't get in, so.
The kids have said they see people go in and out of it, so I was just
Oh.
concerned that something was going on.
No, I've never seen anyone, but. I just have one other thing. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but in your correspondence, you have a letter from a Mr. Dumisil concerning rezoning. That was a question he asked me because his question was every time he wanted to do something with the old school building, would he have to come back to the zoning board? And I told him that if it was a change of use, other than what he's approved for the initial zoning, he would have to. I said that I suggested that he may approach the village board to ask that the zoning be changed or looked at or reclassified. That's one option. So I just wanted to explain what that was about, in case anybody had any questions. We have that problem at the other end of the village where Independent Products was, the old Agway building, the Derringer buildings. Those are all commercial uses in an R1 zone. So anytime they need, if they bring in a new business or change the business, they have to get a use variance, like he would at the school, and that is typically the hardest variance to get. So it's just something for you to consider. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Even if it's the same, similar type of business, he gets a use variance every time a new
Well,
tenant comes in?
currently he's applying for office space.
Correct.
So that's a use variance. He has to prove that he can't do anything else with that building to make it a financial success other than to use it for office space.
Oh, okay.
Use variances are typically very, very difficult to get. So if he has office use this time, and say somebody wants to put in a brokerage firm where they may have a little storage of goods or shipping it and receiving, that's another use variance. So he could potentially be coming back to the board every other month, depending on how it's a big building.
Right, so he's asking, to clarify, that he doesn't have to come back for any use variances, it's just one.
He's asking that
Carte blanche.
the village board look at the zoning in that district to see if it's possible to rezone it to more of a multi-use type zoning, where you have residential and mixed uses.
Doesn't that go back to the zoning board though? Is that?
Well, typically what would happen is you would ask for a recommendation from the zoning board because they would have the expertise in knowing how variances go. But the village board is the ultimate board that changes the law. The zoning board does not have the power to change the law. So that's why I had him, you know, he wrote that letter and he sent it to you.
Mhm.
So, I don't know if I'm clear or not, but,
Get it now.
Well, we'll have to check with the village attorney and see how that, one of you, we'll check with him and see exactly how that has to happen.
Mike, any change in the premises on Spruce Street up here that we've had difficulty with in the last?
that one house,
Yeah.
that guy called me just before Thanksgiving. Supposedly, he has a woman that bought it or was going to buy it, and an issue of lead-based paint came up, which I wasn't aware of. And we did a little bit of research here, and apparently there was an issue with that back in 2000, 2001. And it was never, what do I want to say, it was never corrected. They were supposed to seal over the existing clapboards with that Celotex that's on there, and then recite it. Apparently it changed ownership then, and apparently it's changed ownership again, and this person doesn't know that there was a lead-based paint issue there. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but they're talking about, you know, moving forward this winter and making 2 apartments in there.
It'd be nice if they took care of it, I guess.
Well, as for the cleanup, I talked to the judge about that several times, and I didn't get anywhere with that, so.
Okay, any further questions for Nikki? Now I'll proceed with the mayor's report. Several things. Greg and I are reviewing the insurance quotes for 2009. We're not quite yet prepared to make a recommendation on that, so we'll probably try to finish that. We just need a little more information. We'll try to finish that this week, and if we do, we'll have to have a special meeting to do that because it's getting close to the end of the year. But we aren't quite ready. There's a few things we need to get clarified. Just want to congratulate Donna Barcombe on completing 3 hours of training towards New York State Planning Board and Zoning Board of Appeals training requirement at the Municipal Management Program in Potsdam. Congratulations, Donna.
Thank you.
I just wanted to read, because it really pertains to us all in some way or other. The governor is trying to get the legislature to make some budget cuts. They met once already. They failed to make any cuts. He's going to be submitting his executive budget on December 16th, and we'll be calling the state and Senate and Assembly to hold joint hearings to discuss budget cuts. The reason I say it's pertinent to us, and you should, if you get a chance to write either the governor or our representatives, this stuff ends up coming right back on the municipalities. What happens, you know, they cut school funding, they cut road spending or whatever, and you know, they really have to try to be cognizant of the fact that we're just about at the breaking point with taxes, and it doesn't solve any problem to push the taxes to the municipalities and make us raise the taxes when they really need to make some serious attempts at cutting some of the state budget. So I just wanted to remind everybody to keep an eye out for that because that is very important. The NICOM is trying to spearhead keep the local taxes within reason initiative, and I really hope they're successful because just passing the money on or the bill on to the municipalities doesn't really help anyone. It just makes everybody's taxes worse, and it's the worst place to do business in New York State. And the other thing I had is the Christmas tree pickup will be the week of the 12th through 16th of January. We don't have a specific date, it'll probably be during that week. And that's all I have. I report, Trustee Trombley.
It's been very quiet, we have nothing this month.
Okay, thanks, Kim. Trustee Martin.
Just a quick report. On Thursday, December 11th, we'll have a meeting with the town water and wastewater representatives to discuss some issues in the wastewater contract, town water and wastewater contract with the town. Shared Services Committee, we've scheduled some interviews with the 2 engineering firms under consideration for the municipal drinking water and wastewater infrastructure management plan. And hopefully we're moving forward, and hopefully we'll get these studies started here in the near future. Now that the cooler weather has arrived, there's some renewed interest in getting the downtown skating rink ready to go. Many village residents are ready to volunteer the time and energy to get this done. So we'll meet with Ian and so we can get this skating rink framed up and the liner installed, so the process of making ice can get started as soon as our schedules allow. And talking with Ian, we're going to move it from downtown to River Street, right?
Correct.
The River Street area where there's a parking lot there and some level area land. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Greg. Trustee Garrett.
A reminder that the holiday decorating contest will be held the week of December 14th. Judging will be based on both presentation in daylight hours as well as darkness. So make sure you have your lights on at night that week as well. If you have inflatables, please keep them inflated during the day so we can get a presentation in the daylight hours as well, as I said. You were all copied in on pricing for 3 different companies for GPS devices. And hopefully that will be up under new business, go over that. And that is all I have.
Okay, thank you, Amy. Another report of the clerk treasurer.
Everybody's been copied with the November expense and revenue accounts with balances.
Okay, at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the voucher.
So moved.
Approval.
Second.
The
Warrant.
The warrant,
Yeah.
sorry.
Should we do the vouchers first?
The purchase request, if you want to do that after the.
Nope, I'm sorry. No, yeah, let's do the purchase request. We have a request for HP PhotoSmart printer at $79.98 for, Mickey needs that for his office. We have 2 tires for the small tractor, $125 each, the cost of $250. We have a flat panel monitor for Ian's computer, which this isn't working, it's $169.99. And we have 4 30-gallon drums of sodium phosphate and monosodium phosphate at a cost of $1,896. So let's make a motion and pay
And
those.
that 8330.
Make a motion to pay the purchase requisitions.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Just, don't we have the kind of printer that you send the information to?
We don't have a colored printer here. He needs a colored printer.
Yes, we do have printers on there, but he's the color printer. That's what
There's pictures.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Not Trustee Chombley,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Garrett,
I,
Mayor Moore, aye. Okay, now I'd approve a motion to approve the warrant.
We have one addition to reimburse Terry Linfart for his steel-toe boots for $129.95 to come out of A 5110.4.
did we buy boots for him the year that he left after 4 months?
He left at the end of the year.
He left
May
on
1st.
leave May 1st.
Up to 2007 year.
Gotcha, thank you, that's right.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
Make the motion.
Second.
Second?
Okay, discussion? Not trustee Trombley,
Aye.
trustee Martin,
Aye.
trustee Garrett,
All right,
Mayor Moore, aye. Now the report from superintendent.
Yeah, this week we're doing water meter readings. It was a little slow this morning, we really didn't get much out there because it was 0, so it was, so we waited until this afternoon, and then the remainder of the week we'll work on that. I have my official licenses now, they came in mail today, so I am a B2, a 2B licensed operator and a D licensed operator from the state of New York, so I have all credentials now, legally anyway. To get back with what Mr. Martin had said, the ice rink, there are people that are willing to volunteer, that is correct, and they're educated in how to set it up so we don't lose all our water. I just need to buy some wood, probably 28 or 30 2x6, 2x6s, 10 foot long, just to make the perimeter, and that way we can get that secured and started. And that's really all I have.
Okay, thank
you might be able to get some of that wood donated too, if you ask the places. Everything was donated the first round, 100%, we didn't pay anything. So usually when it's for a community event, people are extremely generous around here.
I'll put the word out. Oh, I have a superintendent meeting tomorrow, that's what I was gonna say. So I'll be gone tomorrow.
Juanita, could you read the correspondence?
Voice to choice for electricity supplier. Correspondence from Clinton County Emergency Service regarding CMO Public Assistance Workshop. Correspondence from New York Rural Water Association regarding partnership with Sense Technologies. Correspondence from Morrisville College regarding water and wastewater quality. Correspondence from Clinton County Health Department to the town of Champlain regarding designated water operator. Correspondence to Clinton County Youth Bureau regarding coaches' code of conduct and policy. Correspondence from Clinton County Highway Department regarding 2009 New York State OGS requirement letters. Memo from Deputy Clerk Barcombe regarding billing adjustment for account B2580 Dean Tremblay's property at 51 Church Street. Correspondence from Iron Mountain regarding price increase for microfilm storage. Letter to New York DEC, New York State Department of Labor regarding their request for asbestos surveys for 1158 Route 9 demolished Patterson Building. Correspondence from Brian Dumanel regarding zoning modification of his property on Elm Street, the former elementary building.
Okay, don't have any old business. I guess we can proceed. Does anyone else have any old business? Now we'll proceed to new business. That's the safety boots.
Yeah, do we have I'd like to make a motion that we limit the amount of money that's being spent on boots to $125 or $150, and I'd like to see them bought at one store. We have accounts at stores that supply boots to us. So I guess my motion is a limit of $150 and purchased at one of the stores that we have an account with to purchase these boots.
125 better.
It's
Hard to
a
get
little
it.
more than that.
Hard to get $125. But
Well, anyway,
before it gets too far out of it.
Okay, do you want to make a motion, Rick?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that the maximum purchase price for a pair of work boots that we buy for our employees at $150, and at a store that we have an account with
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, first you said at one store, and then you said at a store.
At a store that
So-
we have an account.
All right, so they could go to 5 different stores if we have accounts, is what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, we have accounts at Ware Farm and Family.
That's no longer.
Tractor Supply, IBC.
There's several stores.
Okay.
Is that a reimbursement of up to $150, or we're paying $150?
Correct. Up to
Reimbursement.
150.
Reimbursement of up to?
I think either way. No?
I think it's fine with me.
Well, no, if they get a boot on sale for $75, we're not gonna pay them $150 for it.
No, up to.
Reimbursable to
Reimbursable,
$150.
yeah.
But you could either be paid to the store. We used to pay Farm and Family directly,
Mhm.
Right.
$100 at that time, and the employee would pay the difference.
Well, I think that's why Greg wanted to have it at some place we had an account, so we would be able to pay it
Oh, absolutely.
directly.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's
Well, when
fine.
you said reimburse, it sounded like to reimburse the employee. Is that what you were suggesting?
Well, it came out that way, but that's not what we wanted.
Well, actually, you want to read Greg's motion back so we put it on? Yeah.
Limit the maximum purchase price for employees' boots that the village will purchase to $150, and also that they would be bought at a store we have an account with.
Because that's tax exempt there too, right?
Yeah, that would be a better control.
Okay, is there any discussion?
I'm sorry, who had the second? Did we do a second?
I did.
Okay.
Okay, any further discussion on that? If not, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is carried. Amy, do you have a recommendation on something here?
Yeah, you were given information on 3 different companies, SageQuest, Trimble, and Jet Track. They're all comparable in price and service. One company requires the purchase of 5 units. The others, there is no minimum number of units to purchase. They all include, the similar monitoring. You can get notification when your vehicle reaches certain mileage for keeping track of all of your maintenance. So now we don't have to have the separate logs that aren't happening. This way it helps us keep our vehicles up to date. It also keeps track of those vehicles that have the hours instead of the mileage. So after so many certain hours, whatever that vehicle is required to have done to it, you'll get an email saying, just letting you know, it's time for, so that we're on top of the maintenance for it. Everyone offers unlimited tracking ability. The one company, Jet Track, there is a delay in the time, so you have a 10-minute gap in window where you would not be able to get information on a vehicle. There's notification of idling time, so if a vehicle is running but not moving, it can notify you of that, which will help on waste of gas. With the expense of gas, I know it's down a little bit right now, but we were in a position where it was deadly expensive. But you can, with all these devices, they're hardwired into the vehicle. 2 of the companies come and do it themselves. They warranty it for a complete year for everything, including the installation. One company had a $10 restocking fee. If you were to cancel on the service, you have a 75-day cancellation notice. One of the other places had 30-day, and the other one had, I didn't write down what they had for some reason. I guess out of the 3, one has a lower monthly fee. Their highest rate is $24.95. That is for Jet Track, which also, that's the one that has the delayed reporting. But you can get a report, say for example, if you were to go online tomorrow, you could have a report where vehicles were, the time frame where they were, any kind of information you needed, speeding. If, someone was flying through the village at 100 miles per hour, it would show that they were speeding. The other two companies gives you an immediate alert to your emails. You have a vehicle going 100 miles per hour in a 30 mile per hour zone, something to that effect. And one company even had a sensor that if they're driving a plow truck around the village but the plow never came down, so say for example we're paying double time and they're out because they need to plow the street but the plow never was engaged, it's just another monitoring device with that.
So what's your recommendation?
I think I wanted your opinions on it as well. I'm torn with going with the second one, the Trimble. They service the entire AT&T fleet of 7,000 trucks. They have a very good reputation. They're completely debt-free, which in today's world is huge as far as are they going to be around. 24-hour customer service. They're the only ones that offers 24-hour customer service 7 days a week if there's any issue, any questions you have. Actually, this guy has called me from his home a couple of times, in after-hour questions. So that would be, with installation, is $475 per unit, and it would be a matter of how many vehicles we wanted to put it on. And then,
400.
yeah, for the unit installed. And if we went with a sensor, for example, they have several different sensors. They can tell you whether the seat belts are engaged, the speed, whether the plow has been, put down, or it's just, riding. That's an extra $10 per vehicle, and that would, if we were to, for example, do the sensor for the plow, they would only charge us during the winter months. They wouldn't charge us that additional fee when they're not using that. I'm not sure if that's really necessary.
Yeah, I don't know if that's information that we really need.
No, I don't
Because
think so
sometimes you just
either,
say it.
Yeah, so it was just something he threw out there, as an added bonus that he offers that other companies don't offer. That was his little ploy there. So that would be $30 less, so our monthly fee would be $113.85 to monitor monthly. Or if we go with the other company that had the delayed tracking, the most expensive, if we had a 1 minute delay, would be $75 a month. You can go for a 10-minute delay at $13 a month per unit. They do not install their unit, and they had the shortest warranty, 30-day for everything, and you get all your money back, or 1 year. And if they, and they also, that Jet Track offered a 20% discount if you paid your annual fee in full, which is quite nice too. So, if we're looking at purely money, and hope that that's a decent reputation for a company, we get a savings there. Trimble, the one that seemed the most solid company, does not offer any kind of discount. Sage Quest offered he would work with us. So what, he gave me a price, but, end of the year, there's some wiggle room type deal. But I'd rather just have your price up front and go with wiggle room stuff.
What was the price for the Jet Track, Amy?
Jet Track, the most expensive monthly was $24.95, and there was no. You have me a copy of this? Does that help? My little cheat sheet where I summarized your
Yes, please.
email.
Is that per month per vehicle?
Yeah. No. Yes. Per month per vehicle.
Peterbilt has a system. I don't know if it's the same brand type. I know they have it on their vehicles.
How many vehicles are we talking about?
Try to get me right in there. You guys ever get something?
No.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just too young. That's
Dump truck,
all.
both pickups.
I wouldn't go more than three.
Dump truck and both pickups.
Just warming up.
We got the wastewater truck, shop
Press the
truck,
start
the
button.
van,
And there's the big green button.
a dump truck.
It's just
I'll
saying,
go.
reset all originals.
Take your
We
paper
don't
out.
use
and
that.
do that.
I did that
The
too.
wastewater dump truck, or the wastewater pickup is not used all that much anyway.
It's every day.
Yeah.
Say that
It's
uses
just
it.
back and forth.
Well, he does all his rounds and stuff. He goes to Plattsburgh, drop off samples and stuff.
It's not going in now.
But it.
Well,
I don't
I
think
mean,
the dogs
just,
are going hungry.
we shouldn't really get too much discussion until we have a motion, but, you know, these things can get pricey when you start talking about the monthly fees here, and we want to make sure that, you know, this
Got the
one
light?
here that I'm looking at, this, you know, that's probably almost $1,400 a year per month. So, I don't know how many that we want to do. I guess I would ask Ian which vehicles get used most, or
Yeah, like the four I mentioned, it'd be the wastewater truck, the shop truck, the van, and probably the plow truck.
The three?
And then that's 4 vehicles.
Yeah, so I was thinking before.
The other truck is up at Peterbilt, so that, the other dump truck.
Not for time.
If we go with the lower, the jet track, jet track, and we go with the 10-minute monitoring, that would be $624 minus a 20% discount, so minus 120 for $504 a year, which is really quite nice.
it says here we have to install these?
We have to get someone to install it, yep. With that company, that was the only drawback.
I would imagine that's a lot along the lines of like a car starter.
Yes.
It's gonna cost.
It's hardwired.
It's gonna cost you some coin.
Is there a computer program that has to be installed, or is it internet?
Satellite,
Just-
internet.
So you just go on the internet?
Yep.
Would that be a secure site, so not everybody can see what you're doing, or, I don't know, how broad is
Yeah,
that
they
yet?
set it up as to who can go into it.
Administrative rights?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
All of them have that. Otherwise, in the Sage Quest, which was very good, and they offered lots of nice whistles and whatnot, but you had to purchase 5. We don't need 5. I mean, we have 5 vehicles we could use it on, but,
Well, there's 4, and if you wanted one on the loader or on the backhoe, that'd be 5. But Mickey's car.
my gut, in the reviewing and everything, the information that was sent, Trimble did sound as the most secure, plus, you know, all the service, but, you know, I'm cheap and I like to get a deal, but, you know, cheap is not always the best. Jet Track definitely offers the best value, plus the discount.
The discount, but if you have to install it, we have to install it. It basically goes your discount, so.
Well, the other units are $475, because it's roughly $125 to install each unit. And they come right here to us to do it, which is really nice. You know, it's really true customer service. They will come here, also Trimble will come here and do a presentation and train you on reading the reports and how, you know, everything that comes down on them. So, and that's all inclusive. It's not an extra charge for them to come and do those kind of things. So the customer service with Jet Track seemed to be lacking, just from the standpoint of them coming and installing it for us, and a delayed gap in reporting. So, you know, for some reason, you're desperately trying to get a hold of an employee, for some reason they're not answering, you know, their radio, you can, well, I take that back. With Jet Track, you can get 10 free quick check on where a vehicle is a month. Which I can't imagine us doing more than 10 quick checks a month. Can't really imagine us doing more than one. But, you know, where it's in a case where you've got to get them immediately, they're not responding to the radio or something, and you're concerned. But you can get 10 free a month to know where they are right there at that moment. So, for example, Ian needed them for something. There was a main water break. They weren't answering on their cell phone or whatever. You know, he could go online and type in where the heck is the truck. You know, something happened to them, whatever. Why aren't they responding? And you'll know exactly where they're at, and he could go and get them. And you get 10 of those a month. Everybody else is unlimited. You know, with Sage, Quest, and Trimble, you know always where the vehicles are at. On a map, it'll show where everybody is at. The only time it won't show you is if it's inside the garage.
You have a, possibly a special meeting plan for the insurance?
You know, I was wondering, I mean, it's up, we haven't made a motion or anything yet, I was just discussing this. You mentioned, Ian, that Carl Smith has some kind of
Yes, you do. They have
tracking
it
system or
on
whatever?
their service vans and stuff. They are utilizing that system right now.
Do you think that Amy maybe she could check some people in the area, I'm sure, use some of these to see if they're happy with what they have, or how they work, or what they cost? Maybe there's something else out there. I just want, I guess I'm still taken aback by how much it's gonna cost for a year. I just wanna make sure we're getting good service, like you said, Amy. I mean, going with the cheapest thing may not be the answer if it isn't good. You think you could research that for us, Ian, for the next, well, for later this week, actually?
Yeah. I mean, I had made mention to them because it is a good tool for your maintenance program.
Make sure Ian has a copy of that. You could, maybe it's one of these companies here that
They may have the same,
they have.
I don't know. I didn't get
See,
that
and
deep
Jet
into
Track
it.
did not offer that maintenance piece, which I really like that. That's a, you know.
What's that, Ian?
Jet Track did not offer your maintenance monitoring. However, they did say that you could use, they do Excel spreadsheet that you can download the information to every month. So your total miles used, you would just download it into your spreadsheet. So you just monitor yourself. So Ian, on a monthly basis, he could go in and say, "Oh, we're right there. We need to do that." Where these companies, the other two, Trimble and Sage, you put the information into their system, they program it in, you'll get an email saying, time for your oil change on your dump truck, you know.
Okay.
And the other two companies also give you the alerts for the speeding, or if you want to do like a web that, you know, if our vehicle all of a sudden crosses into Canada, you know, you get an email saying your vehicle has left the area. So you can give them an area that they're allowed to travel in. You know, they travel to Plattsburgh for the monitoring of, you know, their testing and whatnot. But, you know, on a daily basis, they're, you know, village limits. So anytime they go outside the village limits, it would just say your vehicle is outside the limits. You know, just another monitoring. Where, you know, Jet Track would still show you that, but you're not going to get an alert on your computer. It would be just you reviewing the report and seeing that, and how long, and, you know.
Okay, well, you want to leave it like that?
So I mean, call Carl and,
Well, Amy, are you gonna do it, or you want me to do it?
yeah, I'll call if you want me to.
Well,
Doesn't matter.
Jeff, you're asking, and you're
Oh.
writing. I'm just asking.
Well,
Oh, I'm
just as
sorry.
long as-
I don't wanna do double work, you might
Yes.
come up with something different than what I'm looking for.
It doesn't
So
matter
I
to
just,
me.
if you want me to, I know those folks up there, I can go up tomorrow, or not tomorrow, maybe tomorrow morning, or Wednesday, and I can sit down with them, and I have already a little bit, just over the counter kind of conversation about the programs. I am very familiar with the programs that are out there, because we use them in service, so.
Who did you guys use?
Well, we had a fleet focus program, it was
A lot more detail.
L3 communications, yeah.
Yeah,
And
UPS
it's,
uses a very detailed too, so.
1,500 fleet, 1,500 vehicle fleet, and I had it, there was vehicles that you didn't have and needed to know where they were, so
Right.
it was, not unless you had administrative rights, and that's why I was asking,
Mhm.
so.
Well, that's what I like too about Trimble is they're dealing with AT&T's trucking system with 7,000 units out there.
Yeah.
I mean, so they're used to dealing with large as well as small because they have absolutely no minimum requirement. Where Sage Quest did have, you've got to take at least 5 units before they even bother with you. They're obviously looking for the big business. And, you know, Jet Track really offered everything other than the immediate maintenance notifications. I don't think we'll be that threatened by, you know, getting a monthly report and, you know, downloading it. It downloads right into your spreadsheet. They show you how to set it up and everything. You just download the information. So it keeps it at all times, which I kind of like that idea too, because then, you know, we want to say, okay, where are we at for mileage? You know, any of us can print out and see where we're at. You know, for Greg and I who are, you know, on equipment, it's an immediate, you know, knowledge. They can go from truck to truck and turn them on for me and check the mileage.
Okay, we can leave that there then for now. I did not have any other new business. Is there any other new business that's come up, Donna? that you need to act on?
Yeah, Dean Tremblay's adjustment account, we need to do that. And also you have a public hearing tonight on local law number 2. So if you want to do this first and then the public hearing.
I had that, let's see here somewhere. That was,
Number 8, correspondence number 8.
I don't have it.
there we go.
Just give it back to me after.
Yeah, this was, Dean Trombley's
Oh, you had that, local law.
house.
It's property maintenance.
It was unoccupied, we checked on it, it was unoccupied, we're doing estimates on that property. He alerted us to the fact that no one was in there during that time period. We checked it and we billed him for $118.72, which was not used, so I would entertain a motion to repay him for the non-water usage and non-sewer usage.
So moved.
We have a second. Any discussion?
This is a one-time request.
Well, no, this is a mistake, billing error on our part. It wasn't anything, it wasn't a leak or anything, it was just, he was estimated and there was nobody there.
Well, how did he, after a whole year, not notice that he's being billed?
I don't think this is for a
My
year.
question.
January
January,
30th
yeah.
to September 30th.
Yeah, he's had 2 bills.
I asked him the same question.
Yes, what would he say?
Didn't really, have a specific answer, but nonetheless,
All
the
his
water,
bills are-
he was billed, the wrong amount.
Right, no, I
Because
understand
that happens, people don't inform us, so
Right, how am I supposed to know?
Right.
Just curious.
Okay, is there any further discussion?
Has the meter been fixed?
Not yet. He says he'll fix it this week.
That meter been fixed yet? Kim wanted to know.
No. We were just discussing that. They were working on meters this week, so they're, as we're reading meters,
What's the date
sorry.
of
We were just reading that. Right, we're gonna work on that, and other meters as well.
Okay. Thank you.
You said it was gonna be fixed that week.
Okay, is there any
December 1st.
further discussion?
Last week? No.
Now, okay, all in favor of adjusting that bill, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is carried. And now, I guess we'll recess the meeting for a minute to have our public hearing on local law for 2008, number 2. I just had one comment that I'd like to have an addition put in on the smaller print, first paragraph, at the end of the part that says local law amends and supplements exterior maintenance by adding subsection N, prohibiting the placement of leaves, grass cutting, tree trimmings, debris, rubbish, and other materials on village property in or on the village right-of-ways, and drainage ditches and culverts adjacent to the village roads. And I make an addition in there, except where it is expressly permitted by the village board. Because we do have a little area where we allow grass clippings to be dumped, and this would preclude that if we didn't have something in there that the village board could allow it. Or if we, at some future point, made a central location where people would bring their brush or debris, this would allow us to do that in the future. So, does everyone agree with that addition? Okay. Is there anyone who has any comments on the local law number 2 for 2008? Any comments? Okay, the public hearing is closed. We would now take a vote to approve local law number 2. So everyone has a copy, right?
Do we have to make a motion for it? Or no?
Yes, we have to make a motion.
Okay.
This is the portion of the law that it gives us rights if somebody doesn't answer our citation, summons, or when Mickey gives them an order to do whatever. If they do not answer, they can be subject to jail time, which means that the police can go after them and say, hey, you've got to do this. Before, we had no teeth in things.
The judge can issue a bench warrant where they can go out and pick them up, or before they couldn't.
I'll put a big stick in Mickey's hands.
Good, we need it.
Yeah, it's something that needed to be changed. So in any event, we need a motion before we get carried away.
Make a motion to pass local law number 2
We have a second?
Changes.
with the changes.
Second.
Okay, is there any further discussion? If not, trustee Chombley,
Aye.
trustee Martin,
Aye.
trustee Garrett,
Aye.
Mayor Moore, aye. Local law number 2 for 2008 is passed. Okay, was there any other new business that we need to deal with? Anyone have any other new business?
I do.
Then I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Was that I do?
Yeah.
I think so.
It's just FYI, the fire department is moving all of their fuel, fire department EMS, they're doing the fuel services at 3J Fuels from now on. That's what Peterbilt trucks stop.
Just the diesel?
For diesel fuel. Gasoline, they'll still get our back. They turned their keys in today for vehicle safety issues was the backbone to that. Talked with Chris Trombley, and so they're going to go up the street to do it. It's just more, it's much more safe for them to do it there.
Okay, very good.
Good deal.
I guess this time we entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Someone?
Second.
I'll take second. You can have first.
Any discussion? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting is adjourned.
How much regular gas do they use?
Not much, they have a van and a pickup truck. They also have